I I got it this time. Look here. Welcome to the bait shop. I remember that damn mute button on the audio. I probably forgot something else totally, but hey, we'll get to that when we get to it. Welcome, folks. Welcome to another Saturday night bait shop. Well, we had good turnout last week. Seems that everybody kind of liked that trout fishing, so still have some of the same gear. I thought, well, Falcon Lake's been on the pole there for quite a few weeks as an option, and they always seem to get a couple of votes, just never quite enough to go there. So I didn't do a poll this week. I just decided we're gonna go hit trout on Falcon Lake. That's where we're going. So, what's in the news this week? Blah, blah, blah. Update dropped. That's about it. 128. So the PlayStation. Oh, now they got a new tournament. The UWP, the Universal Windows Platform. I think that's what that stands for. Anyway, different numbers for everything, but we got our update, so we'll see how much of that gets fixed. But we're going to Falcon Lake. We're going after trout. Falcon Lake, forest to the north. It's a beautiful little waterway. I like it. It's not very large, but it's big enough for a boat, so that's kind of cool. So you can bring your boat, kayak. I like fishing out a kayak over there, so that's pretty good. But you can bring something smaller. Please don't bring a Draco, whatever you want to call it. Don't bring a boat like that over here. No need. So, small waterway, 5 drop zones. So you don't have to walk far. If you're lazy, this is a great place to be. You can walk around the whole lake in a minute or two, but there's 5 places, 5 zones that we can drop in at. So that's kind of cool. What do we got there? The Mountain Watcher, the Trout Lair, the Waterfall Cascade, and the Bridge of Logs, and Nature's Charming Hardcore. Okay. All right, that's cool. We're going after the trout that's in this waterway. I mean, they got pumpkin seed in here also. The red-breasted sunfish is in here. Rock bass and smallies are in here. Actually, one of the tournaments, I think it's the Grand Smalley Cup or something like that, actually goes through Falcon Lake. So there's actually 2 tournaments, I believe, three in total that come through this lake. So it's I like to fish it. I really do. It's it's one of them like Nahards. It's a beautiful map, so it's calming. You don't got to get all stressed out, and sit back in your kayak and just get some nice fish. We're gonna try to hit a couple of holes, pick up on all of them, and at least catch them all. Try to catch at least all 3 of them, which we should. Anyway, so brown trout. Talk about him a little bit, Buck. Where's your Fishkin at, man? Miskin Fish. All right, let's talk about him. There we are. Brown trout. Now, this guy you want to fish, you want to tackle up on him. Number 1 to a 3/0. Anywhere in there is fine. Unis get to be 6.5 kilos, 14.3 pounds. Now they don't get that big here. All right, the biggest one on the books right now here is 7.7 pounds. So that's what we're dealing with there when it comes to the brown trout. All right. The cutthroat. You want to fish with number 1s to 2/0 for the cutthroat. Little smaller fish. They get to be 2 kilos, 4.4 pounds. Right now, the biggest one on the books is 3.3. Okay. Oregon red band. That's a great fish. I've lived in Colorado, and I caught a lot of fish in Colorado. I have yet to land an Oregon red band, and they're all over the place. My buddies are like, "What do you mean? You don't have one. I don't have one. In real life, I don't have one. I want one, but I don't. All right, Oregon red band. You want to fish for these guys? Number 4 to a 1/0, even smaller than a cutthroat. And I'll show you a spot where I catch these trophy Oregon red band. I hope they're biting tonight when we get there. I hope we got the right conditions. Um, it's in a pumpkin seed hole, and these trophy red bands hit constantly on crickets on a number 2 hook in there. Well, hopefully we'll get to see some of that action tonight. All right, so that one, and then finally the rainbow trout sits in there. So he lives in there. You want to hunt him, number 2 up to a 3/0. I've even in real life you can go bigger. 4/0, no problem. For some of these big rainbows, not a problem there. So they get to be about 3.5 kilos, 7.7 pounds. Right now, biggest one, 7.49, so 7.5 pounders on the books right now. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is the payout on these fish. Now, we've got 4 rainbows in there because there's the young. So you have the young common trophy and uni, and then there's as far as rainbows go. And in the game we have just the 3 red band, but the red band payout the highest. So you're talking commons 200 a kilo. This is per pound, per kilo, however you want to look at per unit. All right, you're looking at 200, 230, and 250. Now they pay a lot more because your rainbows pay out 150, and then they're 170 all the way up the rest of the way. So the only jump is between the young and the common, and then common, trophy, and uni pay the same amount. All right, all the way across. It doesn't matter which ones you catch. However, they get bigger. All right, they get bigger. The red bands, you want to kind of hunt the red bands. The unis are hard to come by, and they pay $250. But if you're going to spend your day trying to catch uni red bands just to make money, I'd already blown you away with catching rainbows and cutthroats. So you gotta kind of look at this thing from a time-consuming aspect of it. Your browns. Youngs and trophies pay $150. The unis pay $180. Not a big jump there. So and of course unis are always harder to get. So your money there on the brown trouts are your young and trophies. Now on your cutthroats, the youngs pay nothing, but the rest of them, your common, trophy, and unis all pay $165. So cutthroats, just catch you want as many cutthroats as you can get, as long as it's not a young. And that's your best way. That's $165. So that's actually, your cutthroats are next in line. They pay more than a brown trout does. But of course, then the brown, look at the difference in weight. You're looking at what's on the board right now for a cutthroat, 3.3. What's on the board for twice that, 7.7 for brown. All right. So my money's on the Oregon red band and brown trout here to make your money. As long as you know where the brown trout are, you can catch a lot of them. That's always the thing. Which one can you catch the most of? All right. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about our baits a little bit. What we need for these guys. Pretty much the same thing that we needed last week. I'm going with the same stuff. Of course, I don't really have to change my tackle box out. It is what it is. All right. So what you want with this one is crickets, grasshoppers, mayflies, eggs. Either one of the eggs, artificial or natural, work just fine. Spot sack, flies and dragonflies, small minnows for the brown trout. They like small minnows, so you might get hit on them. And why people fish trout with shiners? I don't know. I don't know. It costs a lot of money for them shiners, a lot more than it does for grasshoppers, crickets, and mayflies. Oh well. All right, your lures, guys. Lures that we want to have here. Why didn't your button go? There it went, Buck. Again, the lures you want for these guys are going to be your spinners, your narrow spoons, your nano spoons, single spoons. Now, the medium spoon for the brown trout. You can hit him up with that. It's why use it when you can catch them on something smaller and catch more of them. That's my take on it. But a medium spoon is usable, and they're hitting there. That's one of the I like to do the top 5 lures. I'll give you the top 5 lures here too that they're catching everything on right now. Do you have them up, Buck? Yeah, you got the lures up too? All right, the top 5 lures would be number 1 is the half-ounce 14-gram barbless spinner 3-aught, the beetle one right there. There she is, right up there. Do I have them running on automatic? No. Oh, cool. So it won't move till I get to the next one. I thought I might have set that up this week. All right, let's see if we can get it. Yeah, wrong. Why did I? It should have been the gold spoon. Oh, maybe I went the wrong way. I did go the wrong way. This is the next one up, guys. The next hard spoon out there, and it's not the purple one that everybody may think. It's the actually it's the quarter ounce, 1-aught, narrow spoon, but it's the gold one. All right, so 7 gram on that one there. All right, next guy in line, hot number. Number 3 in line is the half-ounce, narrow spoon, green halo 2-aught. He's the next one with the most catches in there. And then I think we dropped down to a 14-gram, half-ounce, 3-aught, the rainbow spinner. Is that up there? Yep, cool. And then last but not least, 1.5 ounces here, 42 gram. Okay, this is the 4-aught, silver and green perch, single spoon. So those are your top 5 lures for Falcon Lake. That's what's running right now. What can I say? That's it. So those are the lures that you want to bring along. Now, weather conditions here. You got your dual peaks on sunny days, your pretty cloudy days, and your cloudy days are single peaked. And it's all different times of days. It really is all different time of day. For each one of these, it's different. Your rain, like on a sunny day, your rainbow will hit from 5 to 10. 5 to 10 in the morning, with your peaks being the hot spots being at 10. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you get a hot peak. And then at 12 o'clock, you'll get a hot peak for the rainbows. Okay, your browns, 5, they hit 5 to 6. Then they hit again 6 to 8. 12 o'clock noon seems to be the hot time for your browns. Your Oregon red bands, they'll run on a sunny day 8 to 10 o'clock, but 8 o'clock, it seems to be that's when they're the hottest. And your cutthroats, I think we're going to have a sunny day. That's a dual peak. I think that's what we're in for right here. Forecast here, weather forecast for there. Oh, wait a minute, Buck, you're looking at Lone Star. Oh, yeah, that's Lone Star, dummy. Here we are, Falcon, dual peaks. All right, so it looks like that 8 o'clock time frame is going to be good for us if we actually get there, and that's the weather. I've noticed that sometimes when you're here on your global and it gives you a weather forecast, when you actually get on the map, it's not like that at all. But we'll see. Okay, now, what else did we want to talk about Falcon? I think that's pretty much it. We got everything. We went through all the baits. We went through the payout. That was a big thing. So tonight, probably I'm gonna target browns and the red band. Hopefully, because we're only going to be there a short time. We'll see how much money we make there. Of course, we're going to catch these rainbows and everything like that all over. But a couple of holes that I'm going after is we should catch some nice sized fish in quite often. I hope. Anyway, I'm hoping. What do you got here, Buck? Oh, you're missing one fish. What might that be? Oh, the Uni Oregon red band trout, Buck. You don't have that one. That's the only one. Maybe we'll get that Uni tonight. I don't know. All right, well, let's go over. Got that set up, Buck. Look at this. It's loading up perfectly for us. I like that. How about you guys? All right. Here we are. Let's get over here, Buck. Position number 1. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about why. We're trout fishing, fellas. We're trout fishing, folks. So, you got to pay attention to certain things. And I'm going to talk about, we got I did this pretty good on time. I got 14 minutes now to finish this show up. I really wanted to talk about this a lot, especially for you younger guys that are just getting into the game or maybe just starting to fish. And you don't fish, but you love the game. Maybe you caught buck. Somebody put one of my YouTube algorithm, put one of my videos up in front of you, and you actually hit play by mistake. Well, you're here now, aren't you? Well, let's learn a little bit about trout fishing. All right, this stick, a little bit big for Falcon. Okay, but it's you know me. I gotta have a flipping stick. I'm gonna take one 13 pounder, probably a better stick to handle. I was thinking, for me, it's all about the big brown trout here. You know, and 8 pounders are in here, so they can be had. All right, so I wanted to be prepared for that. 13 pounder here, guys. 13 pound stick. And this was a DLC. This is just a your normal Troy. It's a 23-foot Troy. It's the SE one, the advanced one, right? And it's just got the Inspira ML. That's all that's on here. So it's got a low. All the Inspira MLs, they're not much on their recoveries. They're down in the 27.5 range. However, what's really nice about the Inspira MLs, and we'll talk about, is you have an option of whether you want on a lot of these whether you want to drag in the front or in the back. All right, so there's a good option there for these guys. But anyway, that's the setup there. Now I'm running 12-pound mono. Now trout, you want very thin line. You want line that can't be seen. Trout are finicky. You can't be going down there with braid and all the way down to your bait. I mean, you're in trouble. Okay, so you gotta mono. I chose mono for this stick, and the reason why mono floats more than fluoro does. Fluoro will sink. So if you're fly fishing, you don't want to put fluoro leader on. You know that'll drop your fly in the water. You'll sink. Okay, especially if you're dry fly fishing. All right, same anywhere. So I'm not worried about this. Because I'm geared up with minnows. I want it to sink anyway to the depth of my barber setting. So I went with fluoro, 11 pounds here. I don't care if it sinks, I want it to sink. All right. 2, just got the ultralight, again, the night feather edition here, and another Inspire Slim. Actually, you see, he's got even a better recovery on here. But so it'd be at an 8-pound stick. All right. So it's the same one we used last week. And of course, this is the all-around advance. Same thing, 11-pounder here. Now, they've got this set up with a 10.5-pound stick, and they've got it. Now, it came with 10-pound braid. Or maybe I did that myself and saved it back to that. Anyway, if you'll notice on this one, I'm running braid. I do have braid on this, and I'm trout fishing. However, I've got fluorocarbon leader on it. Right? That's where you want to be. The braid gives you the strength. I like the feel of it because it stretches less, so you really get a good feel when you catch fish on braided line. But you cannot run braided line, like I said, down trout ain't gonna bite on that stuff. All right, so we got our fluorocarbon there. We want this to sink. It's a bottom rod. Okay. Now this here Omni float. I'm bringing this one this time. I swapped out because this is all you really need for this waterway as far as the float rod goes. This is it, little 7.5 pounder. Now. This is mine. I have it set up for a 7.7, so I have a 7.7 Cushion under 4,000 on this. 30-inch recovery, not a bad recovery for this little stick. So I like that. And I'm probably knowing me. I'm running 8-pound mono, and I want it to float. So I have no leader on here. I don't want a leader on here anyway. Get better XP without a leader. And so I can adjust this, and it's crickets, so it's going to float anyway. So even no matter what you set this depth at, you don't have a weight on this. It's not going down. It's just how far away will float from your bobber. All right? It's floating. It's on the surface. That you can say here 20 inches. I don't care. That cricket's not floating. It's not down 20 inches. And the hook might take it down. I don't know. I don't even know if we're talking about a number 2 hook. I don't even think that'll sink by itself. It's for hours. Okay? So there's the deal there. Now, I figured, well, soft baits. I don't want to be switching up baits and all that kind of stuff with my spinning rods on this thing. So I got myself a nice little bass. Every time I see a casting rod, I'm thinking bass. All right, so we got a casting set up here. The 6.6 SE value cast. This is a 9-pound stick, so that's fine for here. And I put an attorney 8.8 on here. Okay, so it's a nice little setup there, 9.88. The attorney has got a 31.5 for a casting reel, so that's kind of good for a little reel like that. And again, here it doesn't matter. I'm running fluorocarbon because I want thin line. I don't want them to see it, and I'm running a Carolina rig on this. So, and it's a what's the weight? 7.9 on that Carolina. Yeah, 7.9 pounds. Okay, so that's what we're running. I wanted a Carolina because I wanted a little bit of float behind the sinker. You know, with the Texas rig, it's more like a bass setup because your weight is right on the nose of your bait, so you get a lot of jerky motion with your bait, up and down, you know, enticing that bass to come out and strike. You want to be a little more subtle with trout, so I go up to a Carolina rig and maybe even a 3-way. But I have one, you know, I got all of them, but I figured I'd start off with a Carolina rig here because that drags it out a little bit behind your weight. So your weight, you can bounce it, and you can still pull this Carolina weight with a grub through the water column. So it'll still look good. It'll float behind your weight. Not a bad deal there. So you can fish different parts of the water column. You can start running into the 3-way now. 3-way is really made for bottom fishing because it's. I mean, yeah, you can drag a weight. If you're going to do it that way, you want to be in deep water and you put a long leader onto your weight way down deep. Run your bait line off of it higher up. Then that's good for like trolling purposes and things like that. If you're in deeper water, where you can get the weight away from your bait. Alrighty, so this is kind of this setup I brought. We'll see, we might use them. Who knows? Sometimes Buck forgets he even has that stuff. And then I just brought my other all around, same kind of deal here. My setup here is the all around with the Inspire MLR 3000. Now, why do I go the MLR? Now this is 11 pound. I could go the 12.1 or in here. Now, what happens with these MLRs? All right. All the difference in them. Let's jump over there real quick because this is kind of important for you guys that are brand new, so you kind of know what you're dealing with here with these reels. All right, the spinning reels, especially lightweights. What we're going for here. Let's talk about these a little bit. All right. Everything that gets up into this 11-pound range, when you're talking 11, 12, 13, which matches our rods that we have at the 11, these are the reels you're dealing with mostly. Okay, so if you look here, now the MLRs are just 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. All that is the amount of line that the spool will hold. That's the size of the spool on the MLRs. That's how they make their stuff. Even the Inspire, the Inspires. Whether it's an ML, now the R means it's a rear drag setting. R just means rear drag setting. All right, now you get into MLs where it's a front drag setting for these guys. Okay, now they're a little bit bigger at 12.1, so you could go an 11-pound stick. You could go at 12.1. You could do this guy 27, but here's the big difference here. If you jump up to these 12.1s, now the recovery is 27.5. Now, if we go up one more, here's the other one here, 27. Here's the 12.1 pounder here. Here's another 12.1. They're all 12.1 because they're just 3,000, 25. It's just how big the spool is. That's all it is. And then you get up here. The ML 3500 goes up to 13.2. All right. Now, if you look right here, friction sections counts. Now, this shows up on your HUD. When you see that little, your circle, how many chunks that are there, that's how sensitive your drag adjustment is. So the less section count, the less friction sections, the coarser that reel is. In other words, one little bump maybe way too much more, and you break your line. You don't have a lot of sensitivity with an 8 count versus, let's go back to the MLRs with the rear drag. Look at them, 12. So you got 12 settings, drag settings on these reels at the 11-pound range versus bumping up just to 12.1, and then you're losing four settings all the way around. So you do the math. I like the rear drag on a reel because you're not out there messing around with the bail and the fish, and you're not messing around with the front end of your business when you're fighting in fish. You can just reach down there and adjust that. You can adjust that drag right at the bottom of your hand. It's beautiful. These rear drag settings are really nice. So that's the difference in your Inspire line. And a lot of guys, that's where we're at here. These are all the reels that we're using because we're dealing with 11. Now, let's go down here to the last one here. We got a couple of minutes for a buck slat stick. This is the fruitcake. Came in a DLC. I like it because it's well balanced. It's a beautiful bottom rod. All right, it's 13 pound on the stick. It is 13.2 on the engine. Now, here's the difference. This is what we just talked about. This engine here, the Saccade Reel 4500, and that's the size of that spool, so it'll take 4.5K of line on that thing. There's your 13.2. That's your Inspira ML, and the friction sections count are only 8. So we'll see when we fish with this guy. I only have 8 drag settings on that reel, on that one. But it's a 13.2 with a 13, and I've got 13-pound braid on here, again, with 11-pound fluorocarbon leader. Got to have that fluorocarbon if you're trout fishing down to your hook. All right, folks, that's pretty much it there. Little deal. I wanted to talk about these because of this particular line of reel is important to us here at Fishing Planet because these are the sticks that we have, these 11-pounders. So you're always making a decision between this. This reel pops into your decision making a lot at 11 pounds. So I wanted to kind of explain that a little bit about those Inspires. Now, when you get down a little bit lighter here, it's a little bit different. But again, any of your Inspire, the whole line, it's 25, 2000, 25. That's just the size of your spool. The rest, other than that, the real, okay, why am I, there we are, run froze. Other than that, everything else is identical about the reel. That's kind of how they work. All right, so that is everything. And I got a little tritone. I think this is the topwater kayak. So we're going to bring that guy there, bring him along. And of course, to stay in my green motif, we'll go ahead and bring our Aquila motorboat Gary Scott rubber. We probably won't even get into that guy at all. All right, folks, I waited for another. Oh, I never even put my chat up. You bonehead. I'm sorry. If you had questions, I never read them. Come back at 8. I had everything ready to go, too. But I forgot the chat. Oh. We'll see you at 8 o'clock. We'll be back for this fishing trip. Pump the like button on your way out. Turn the lights out. We'll see you later. Never ever give up the fight. One of these, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn how to get all the buttons right sooner. Hey, we'll see you later in half an hour, folks. Hi, Micah. Hi, Jules. Thanks. Didn't have the chat up, Jules. We'll see you later.